stomach, ja, dis ja, ek kan dink emotionally.
Ja, nee, almal het gecrash vandag so.
Ja, en julle mag maar na dit alles. Dis 'n
Dankie
groot.
my skat.
Ja, maar
Ja,
dit
dit was
is so amazing. Ek kan nie wag om my eerste outfit te order nie. Dit lyk baie mooi. Ek love die kleure wat jy gebruik het. Dit lyk so beautiful.
jy, dankie so baie. Okay, dit is dubbel te my ore nou. Ek het nou alles gehoor. Sorry, ek wil net gou my
gemute. Ek wag los.
Wag, sê gou weer. Dat ek kon nie gehoor nie.
Moet ek praat?
Ja, het jy iets gesê? Jy het nou gedans. Het jy gedans?
Skielik ek het net gedans.
Ek dink die mense moet vir ons in die
My
chat
webinar dans.
Sê. Oh my word. Gaan sien chats as julle beslis nie skinder nie, Nancy uitvoer. Oh my word.
Kleinmond.
Hallo almal, vertel ons waar is julle vandaan? We are definitely going to have to speak English though, because I think we're going to have some English people. We have to cover everyone. Yay! Ons het 'n paar hallo Jackie, ons het so 'n paar vroeë mense, liewe aarde. Maar hulle weet first come first serve. Ek het 500 plekke en ons 810 registrasies. So
Wow.
if you don't get in, then you must watch on YouTube, né? Hello everyone, I'm aware is van oral, Vosburg, Nelspruit. Ja, waar is dit? My naels is geel.
Ek het gesien gister, maar ek love it. It's beautiful.
Dit is my baie vreemd, maar ek gaan dit nou maar, dit is so 'n deel van Palette Collective. Ek gaan nou maar net go with it. Ag, dankie Isa.
Ek het bright pink. Dis in my jou is ons colourful.
Is dit 'n screenshot nee? Dit gaan so cool wees. Well done. KZN. Jo, dis lekker om almal te sien van ver af en van oral oor. Ruimsig.
Ek is net so trots op die mammas as hulle hierdie webinars maak en hulle weer die kinders somehow somewhere in 'n bed, magies is vol en hulle kan hierdie nou doen. Dis awesome.
Ek hoop in elk geval so, dalk.
Ja.
Want ons kan hulle nie sien nie, so daar kan eintlik allerlei chaos aangaan by die huis.
Dis ook waar.
Ja, hulle Tanine, Witbank, Mpumi in Rodepoort. Wow, dis die eerste keer. Durban, is baie van Durban.
Nee.
Weet jy wat moet ek net gou vinnig doen? Ek moet definitief al my ander goed toemaak, my WhatsApps, want dit gaan die hele tyd ping en my e-mails. Jy moet dit ook doen.
Yes.
Ons is net die hele tyd notifications kry nie. Dis die belangrikste, né? Okay, awesome. Bloemfontein, hallo Wendy en Winnie. En Stellenbosch. En Janneke. Hallo almal. Dit lyk of dit baie Afrikaans is. Miskien moet julle vir ons in die chat sê of jy glad nie Engels verstaan nie. Alhoewel ons gaan met Engels praat vir iemand wat oorsee is. Ek sien jou nou al. Ermelo.
Dis vakansie, sê sy die kinders slaap uit. Dis waar vakansie.
Dis nog nie vir ons vakansie nie.
My hierdie jaar ek is hierdie jaar my seun is hoërskool toe na hierdie jaar. So sy vakansies en my dogter se vakansies is nie dieselfde vakansietyd nie. So ons gaan nie een vakansie hê hierdie hele jaar wat hulle altyd op vakansie is tot Desember nie. En wat dit beteken vir my is ek moet die hele jaar kosblikke pak. Want ek is
Shame Annelie, luister, jy het nou vasgehaak jou internet. Is jou internet okay daar by die huis? Hier sien is Abu Dhabi, maar sy's daar Marleen van Wyk. Kan jy mooi hoor?
Ek hoor mooi en ek is op my beste wifi.
Okay.
Hoop nie ek gaan so maak nie.
Jy breek op, Annerie. Hulle sê dit van die wêreld af. Sy's op haar beste wifi, julle.
Ek is op vol sy my beste volste wifi.
Devices.
Weet jy wat? Sê vir jou kinders hulle moet van alle wifi afklim.
Ja.
Iemand Netflix kyk dan ja, al.
Ja. Sy gaan gou vir hulle sê. Hallo julle. Wow, Portview. Durbanville, Secunda, Melissa. That's amazing. Ek gaan sommer begin record. I'm going to start recording just because I normally forget to press record. And while I remember, I'm going to do it. So, officially. Hello everyone and welcome. It is past. I can't believe it. But the people are entering slowly. Hello, yes, please tell me in the chat not only where you are from, but also how old your daughters or your girls are. If you have girls, hello from Duitsland. Oh, this is so fun. Oh my word, I love this. I'm always so, what is the word? What does trepidatious mean, baby? Is that a word? Trepidatious? Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous when I have to do a webinar, and then when I get there, I'm like so crazy about it. I love the fact that we have live interaction. Wow, look at this girl, 7 and 10, 14, 16, 11 and 7. Girls, this is gonna be a mind-blowing experience. I can really assure you that. Well done. Welcome, Annerie.
Hello everyone. It is so lovely to see that we've got people from literally everywhere tonight. It's awesome.
It is awesome. We have in Germany, Parel, Ermelo. It's amazing.
And all ages.
Yes, I asked them. Yeah, how many girls do they have? If they have, and what are their ages, so we can have an idea.
Yes, no, there's so even 2 years old, 2 to 18. Wow.
2 to 18. I'm just gonna stall a little bit to get people on as quickly as possible and as many as possible.
Yes.
I know even though many register, there's always less that actually pitch on the night, but that's okay. You snooze, you lose, but luckily we are recording it, and luckily it's also streaming to YouTube so that we have it always and forever, because I think what we are going to learn tonight is going to be so valuable and so precious that you would want to actually rewatch it. I've heard Annerie speak, and I'm going to introduce it just now because I don't want to start without as many people on board as possible, but I've heard Annerie speak, and she's absolutely passionate about girls and raising girls, and not only obviously raising girls, she loves raising her son as well, but her experience with girls this past 11 years is just mind-blowing, but I'll tell you more about that just now. I'm going to give it until 2033 and a half. Not that I have a second meter. As dat so ietsie is. Wow, 6, 5 en amper 2. Listen, can I just, before I introduce you, just to give you background on me, I have obviously 3 boys and was blessed with a surprise little girl. I never thought I missed a girl. I thought, no, my makeup is safe and my shoes are safe and I'm cool. I've got the boys, and I've nailed raising boys, little boys anyway. Not that you ever nail anything with parenting, but I thought so, and I thought I was content, and never thought I'd missed raising a girl. But when, oh my word, if I now look back and I see the joy and the absolute freaking bliss that it is raising a girl, I cannot imagine my life without a girl. Not without it at all. 4 girls. Joyce, you are going straight to heaven.
Deserves a special reward.
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay, let's not stall anymore.
Emelikie.
Oh, Emelikie, she's I know her or her mother is very active on social media. I'm very impressed with what they do.
Wow, they're amazing.
They are amazing. Listen, okay, well, hello everyone. Officially, hello. Let me just make sure I am recording. Yay. I did this freaking webinar last year on being an entrepreneur, and it was a massive thing. It was like full. And I was so excited that at the end, when I wanted to tell them that you can get the recording, I'm like, I didn't record. I was so into it. So now I'm so happy that I remembered, because this is precious, very, very precious. Okay, my name is Aletta Winkler. I am a mother of 4, 3 boys and a little girl. And just in a nutshell, like I just told most of you, I never thought I missed having a girl until I had a girl, and I realized, oh my word, it's amazing. But as an image consultant, I work with women all the time. And like I thought I had raising boys down, I thought I can deal with women. And so 2 years ago, 2020, like in September, October, 2 of my staff members came into my office and they told me I don't even know how it came about that we spoke about it. Another one was sitting across from me working. 2 of the young ones came in and they said they are so excited to someday work with girls. And I was looking at them and I'm thinking, good for you.
I'm not feeling it.
I'm like, I can do women. I can. And then I met Andre, and God just did something in my heart to just really get a heart for girls and what they're going through, and the issues that we can actually prevent at a young age. Because I get the woman, I get the damage already done, sitting in front of me, going through what people said about them and putting stuff over their lives, and I have to fix that. While if we can do this, even on a regular basis, where we can train parents as best as we can with our limited education and experience, to be the best parent, especially to a girl. We're focusing on girls. We don't neglect boys. We love boys, and we'll get to boys. Absolutely. But tonight we're focusing on girls because they are the mothers of tomorrow. And therefore it is such an honor for me to introduce you to Henri. Not that she needs any introduction. I can remember being in high school, because she was just friggin' also still in high school, can I just say, and looking at the Sari and Roy Rosa magazines, and she would be on the cover of magazines as a young lady. She had a little bit of a head start because she had 2 famous parents, but let's not go there. We're just not going to give her that credit. She did it on her own merit. Andre was literally in the modeling world doing incredible things overseas, like shoots you would only dream of. She was on billboards across the world. I think so, anyway. That's how I imagine you. I imagine you on billboards across the world. And I really think she doesn't need any introduction, although I think it's necessary that you know that she comes not only from a place as a mother, she comes from a place by spending time with young girls, a little bit older girls, being in an environment where she can differentiate between the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what she wants to be and what she doesn't want to be and become, and then train her girl up to be. And we all think, due to social media, that modeling is glamorous, and we want to almost introduce our children to it. Not that this is about this either, but she gets to tell you the real and the truth and the what's going to happen. So Andre has a little girl of her own. She's happily married. She has a boy first and then a girl. And she has been working with young ladies. She will tell you her story and her journey, how she came into it, but she has been working with young ladies over the past 11 years, more than 500 teenagers, more than 1,000 young little girls and tweens. So she can literally tell you, by them sharing their hearts, by telling her what their deepest hearts, desires and secrets and whatever are, she can tell you what we as parents of little girls should know and should actually train and teach our children. So Andre, without any further ado, welcome.
Thank you, Aletta. It is absolutely lovely to be here with all you ladies tonight. And yes, my path, it happened very unexpectedly for me to find myself in a position where I worked with the girls. So I did the modeling overseas, like she said, and then actually came back to South Africa studying graphic design, starting my own business in that. My aunt started a course for girls many years ago. I mean, I was still a little girl. I actually did her course as a teenager. And she one day phoned me and she said she's ready to pass this on to somebody new. And I just knew in that moment, for the first time, it must be me. So my experience from tonight, talking to you, comes from, like Aletta said, being around girls for 11 years now, in a very unique space, in a space where at school they may be a bit more reserved and wearing a mask and not maybe sharing everything. When we do a course with them, they start to trust me, and they start to open up to me, and they start to feel extremely safe in that space. So they start to share more of their hearts. And unexpectedly, again, for me, when I started, I thought I'm just going to be the teacher. But I learned so much as a mom doing that, because my boy was still a little. I think my daughter was 1 or 2 years old when I started with the teens. So my eyes really opened up, and I saw what I, as a mom, really need to try and pay more attention to while they're growing up and while they're going through these tween years and then the teen years. So that is what I want to share with you. Just a few things that I've learned from being in that space with the girls. Can I share my screen, Aletta? Let's see. We can do that. Do you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I absolutely love this quote. It says, "It's easier to build up a child than to repair an adult." And I think you will all agree with that. And that is actually what inspired me. I first started with the teen girls, and then when I saw what they were struggling with, I decided to do a course even for the younger girls, because I think we need to plant seeds even when they're younger. And then I also absolutely love this quote that says, "If I could give my daughter 3 things, it would be the confidence to always know her self-worth, the strength to chase her dreams, and the ability to know how deeply loved she is." I apologize. I do not know who said this. It doesn't come from me. I'm not going to take credit for it, but I've been walking around with this quote in my heart and head for so long that I remember the quote, but I can't remember who said it. But I think you will all agree with me that that is what we want for our little girls and for our teen girls. So some of the things that we teach the girls will come just from the home. It will come just from the moms, just from the family, just from that inner circle. When it comes to things like you are loved unconditionally, that's coming from you. That is not something I can teach her. I cannot teach her that you love her, okay? That is coming from home. But then there's that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And this is where the village part comes in, where there's going to be certain things that mom will say it 10 million times, but then when somebody else says it, that penny drops. And I cannot tell you how many times I heard that from moms, where they said to me, "But I've been telling my daughter this for so many years, and when you said it, now suddenly she's doing it." Okay, so and that is how we help and support each other. I mean, things like I said to my daughter for many years, "Wear SPF," or "Wash your face at night," or "Do this," or "Do that," and she doesn't listen to me. And then when you said it, she's doing it. So we help each other, and it takes a village. But then the things that I've picked up is that I'm going to share the first thing that I want to share with you. And please remember that I'm not a trained psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm talking to you from that experience of being around the girls and listening to their hearts and when they open up to me, what they shared with me. Here's a photo of me with the little girls, me with the older girls, the teen girls during our teen course. So you can see I've been around the younger ones, the little ones, the 8-7-year-olds, and then going up to the teens, the 17-18-year-olds. So the first thing is her heart is listening. Her self-image and self-esteem starts to form from a very, very young age. So I actually think it's from even little baby. It's as soon as words start to actually make sense to her, that self-esteem starts to form. I always, when we talk to the girls about self-esteem, I teach them that it's something that is sitting right here by your heart, and it hears everything that you say to yourself. It hears everything other people are saying to you, and it goes and it sits here. And so when they were a little girl, let's say you were playing outside, and maybe she had older brothers, or the rest of the family were always joking and saying, she can't even catch a ball. I don't want to be on her team when we play cricket, or when we play. And they're joking. But she keeps on hearing that. And this voice that's sitting here keeps on hearing that. And then later on in life, when she needs to go and try for a team, suddenly that voice comes back and it says, hey, but you can't even catch a ball. I don't want to be in your team. And we need to be so mindful of those little voices that we plant in her heart from a young age. We have the power to make sure that it's not too many negative things that she hears, but we also have the power to make sure that she hears a lot of positive things. I always say to the girls, what you see and what you think will determine how you are going to feel, and that will determine how you're going to act.
Yes.
So if you think, I can't catch the ball, you're probably your body is gonna act in a way and you're gonna miss that ball, just as a very silly example. But if she, as a young girl, maybe heard the words, you are brave, and she's in a position where she maybe needs to stand up for herself, and she can hear that voice, but you are brave, then she can have more confidence to be brave in that moment.
Wow.
So we need to be very, very mindful of planting the right words in our daughters' hearts. Don't just think it. What you say absolutely matters. And how you say it absolutely matters. Of course, we still need to discipline. I'm not saying walk around and hand out compliments all the time, and if she does something wrong, just say it's okay. No, we discipline as parents 100%. But I think we tend to be quicker to correct. We tend to be more verbal to correct. And we tend to keep quiet when we want to acknowledge or when we want to praise. So just what I learned is we need to have that balance. We need to make sure that, yes, correct and discipline, but also praise and acknowledge. And when you see that she's doing the smallest little thing right, don't just think, oh, wow, I'm proud of her. Go tell her. Tell her, I'm proud of you. You did well. Yes. Or you are brave, or you are smart, or whatever it is that comes up, make sure you say it to her.
Absolutely. Can I quickly add in, Anne-Marie?
Yes.
I mean, with my little experience, I literally experienced this afternoon when I put my baby in the bed for her afternoon nap. I almost forgot that when she was born, I sang a song over her whenever I was feeding her. And it literally says, I hope everyone can understand Afrikaans, but it says, Alana, Alana, jy is jou ma se mooiste nooi. Alana, jy is vir my so mooi. Dan sê ek, jou neusie wip, jou lippies vol, jou oogies groot, jou wange bol. Gaan ek weer aan. Die volgende enetjie is, Alana, jy is jou ma se mooiste pop. Dan sê ek, jou vingers lank, jou hare blink, jou lyfie slank. So I speak life over, jou lyfie slank, jou brein is flink. I forgot about that song. I actually had to go on my voice recordings and go find it because I couldn't remember the sequence of words. I sang it to her this afternoon. I've got goosebumps just thinking of it. I mean, she's 2. She doesn't really understand everything that I'm saying, but the fact that she knew I was speaking life and encouraging her and building her self-esteem, she was blossoming, yeah. She was lying in bed like, like just enjoying. Exactly. Yeah. It was unbelievable. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah,
that is awesome, and how I teach it to the girls, and I actually want to say it to you moms as well, because if we visualize it like this, it actually makes it easier. So when we do it with the girls, actually put a little sign around, like a paper plate or something around their neck, and then we divide it into good and bad. Okay, and every time you hear something bad, like you stupid, okay. Obviously, you're giving a point to the red side, the bad side. When she's hearing the beautiful words, she gives the other side gets a point, because it's right here by your heart. Everything you hear, it's either going to be bad or it's going to be good. So make sure that when you do those things, you are always giving more marks to her a good side. When you feel, hey, the other side is winning here, we need to up the other side. We need to always make sure, and you're probably thinking all these things already. We just need to be mindful to say it. Yeah, because before we're building self-esteem, there's a beautiful poem, Aletta, you all know, maybe remember I read it to you when we did, when I saw you in Cape Town, that a mom wrote, her children's already older. And one of the things she said is, if I can do it all over again, I would build the house later and build self-esteem first. So I think we get so busy with, we want to do this and this and this. And that is also one of the things that the teen girls often say to me. They said, but my mom was so busy with other things. She wasn't there in the little moments. So be there in the little moments. They're looking for that. They want that. They crave that. So the next thing that I want to talk about is her body image that is so fragile and that she's watching you. So very passionate about this topic. So there's a few things that I want to say here. It's interesting that when I have a group of girls in front of me that's maybe between 8 and 10 years old, and I say, how do you feel about your body? Give it a point out of 10. 10 out of 10, you love it. 1 out of 10, you hate it. Okay? They would be in the upper numbers, like 8, 9s, 10s, they like their bodies, most of them. And then when you ask that same girl at the age of 16, it's the other side. Okay? So a lot happens from that 8 years old to 16 years old. There's a lot of things that can happen with that body image. So we need to try as parents to guide our daughters and help them to keep their focus on what can they appreciate in their bodies, that their body is unique and healthy instead of just criticizing it. It's not easy, but there are little things that we can look out for. And one of the things that I picked up that the girls shared with me when we do a very intense body image session with the teen girls where they talk about a lot of things. And one of the things that came up a lot is when they said, but my mom always commented on my weight. So I want to say to you, don't even talk about weight. Don't comment on weight. Don't say if she picked up weight. Don't say if she lost weight. Just do not talk about this. There's enough out there in her world that she needs to deal with when it comes to weight, and she needs to look a certain way. She sees it everywhere.
That's good.
At home, she just wants that love and that acceptance. We must remember the girls just want to fit in. I mean, some of them will be, pretend like, yes, I'm unique, I'm not part of the group, but deep inside, they really want to fit in. That is what they actually want as teens and as tweens. And if they keep hearing things like, you too fat, or you too skinny, or you too tall, or you too short, or they feel like they are standing out and that they're not blending in. So we need to keep that space for them where at home, we're not going to comment about that. Also, moms, and I assume that we mainly moms on this call tonight, on this webinar, but have a word with the men in her life. The girls often shared with me what a big impact it had on them, the way their dads or their brothers or any men in their life that they're close to spoke about them, about their bodies. So have a word, talk to them. When I learned this, I actually sat down with my husband and my son, and I said to them, you have to be really, really sensitive about what you say to your sister about her body. You can't, because boys, they will just say, hey, you look fat, and they joke and they think it means nothing. But it's such a big deal coming from the men in her life. It makes a really big impact. So talk to them and have that chat with them. And also that they're mindful of how they speak of other women's bodies on the beach, on TV, in a shopping center.
Absolutely.
How men can comment on bodies. And the girls listen to that. And they will say to me, but I hear how my dad or my brother are talking about girls and their bodies, and it's making me feel very, or makes me doubt my own body.
Absolutely. Oof.
So make sure that you have a talk with the men in your life as well, and in her life. And at the same time, while you're at it, maybe also have a word with your friends. I'm very strict with my friends that they know when they come to my house, I don't like to talk about diets. I don't like to talk about, I need to lose weight again. I can't go on holiday until I've lost 10 kilograms, or those sort of chats. they're listening, they're watching you all the time. When you're going to talk about your flabby arms and this, they're going to start looking at their arms and things, but maybe mine's flabby, you know, you're putting attention on those things. So be mindful of that. Also, try not to even talk about things like diets and scales in your yeah, that's difficult, but try that with the girl in the home. That those things shouldn't actually even be a thing in the house, because you want to keep the focus on being healthy, and that is also something that I teach the girls in the preteen course, because I want to plant those seeds that keep focus on being healthy rather than on what your body looks like. And if we can help them to focus on that, you planting very, very important seeds for her. In my modeling world, I had a lot of pressure on me to lose weight, and I knew that for me to look like that, I had to literally stop eating, or either, you know, throw up if I eat something. But because I had that relationship with my body where I wanted to be healthy, thankfully I didn't go that route, because I rather wanted to be healthy, and I know that comes from planting that seed when I was younger.
Well done.
And just also just one or two last things I want to say about that is also be mindful of making things evil, like exercise. I mean, think about how you talk about exercise. I know so many of us say, oh, I need to go to the gym now and I don't feel like it, or oh, I have to, we make it like it's not a good thing. So again, be mindful of how you speak about healthy things, and also things like sugar, like cake or carbs. It's not an evil thing. You can't teach your daughter to eat healthy, but also have that piece of cake with her every now and then. They are so easy influenced at this age. And if they see you, because remember, you're the biggest role model, if they see that you are talking about carbs or cake or people, then they are going to grow up thinking, oh, I cannot touch cake. And then when they have a piece of cake, they might just go and, you know, throw that up. We don't want it to get to that point. So don't make things evil in your home, like exercise or cake or anything like that. Okay. Body image, I don't know if you want to touch on that, Aletta. I think within your working with the woman, you see a lot of body image things with older women. That is one of the big things.
Wow, listen, I'm gonna share from my own story, and then I'm gonna tell you a few of my client stories. It's I get goosebumps every time you speak about this, because this is profound. This is raising girls 101, and we miss it. We miss it because we are so busy that you do things on the go, and you say things and you make comments that you don't mean or you don't even think about, and that is a seed that you plant in your girl, whether positive or negative. So I've got two stories. I was raised in a household where my mom was forever on a diet, forever. And I thought that is what you do. Like every Monday you start on a new diet. And even though I at some stage I definitely didn't need it, you think that is womanhood. That is how it should be. That's what it is. So it's so messed up, actually. It's really messed up, and we don't want this for our kids. So I have made the mistake when my girl was small. I mean, I think she's a baby. She's still a baby. But when she was way smaller younger than now, like probably 16, 17 months, I know she could already walk. I was obviously, I just had a baby, so you're constantly aware of losing the fat, the pregnancy, whatever. And I had this routine every morning where I would wake up, go to the loo, and my scale is under my I have a wooden like basin set, and I would take the scale from under, weigh myself, and then go about my day. And this morning I didn't even know that she was watching me or aware of this. And this morning I didn't want to weigh me for some reason. I probably had too much to eat the previous day. And I went to the loo, I came out, and I was going to go out of the bathroom, and she said, "No, Mama," and she called me back, and she bent down and she took the scale from under the basin. I was like, crap. Forget about it. Okay, so that is my own story. And ever since, I've really made a point to never do anything like that in front of her, or make her aware, or make it an issue. And I want to, obviously, when she's growing up, and that's why I'm also speaking things over her life, even in that song. And I will share the song. I see you asking in the comments to share the song. speaking life over her, because it also creates identity. The things that we say, the seeds that we sow really impacts that child. But then, ladies, I have had clients, oh my word, I have cried. And whenever I get to speak to women, I always use these stories because it's so unbelievably, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievably unbelievable, because I can't believe that a 43-year-old would stand in front of me and say, my grade 1 teacher said to me that I have the ugliest legs she's ever seen. She's now 43. She was 6 going to 7 in grade 1, and she still remembers that. And to that day, she doesn't want to wear short clothes or show her legs because her grade 1 teacher, who probably was just annoyed with her own life and had her own issues, said something, and it ruined her joy of enjoying her legs because she believed that lie. And how many of those lies do we have as mothers in our lives? We do. I promise you. I have people say, I don't want to show my knees. I'm like, what's wrong with your knees? Then I look at their knees and there's nothing wrong. No, somebody, whatever. I would tell my client, you have the most beautiful lips. She's in her 60s. She looks like a beauty queen of old. She would say, oh, I hate my lips. I don't even wear bright lipstick. It's like, because somebody in primary school bullied her about her lips. And what we don't realize very often is that we are not aware of the things that happen at school, because our children don't get to spend time with us to actually tell us. We don't have that open relationship because we're busy. We are just busy human beings trying to get through the day, trying to just go through the motions and survive and just make it through a day and wake up the next day, and then we go through the motions again. And we seldom have those moments in a day where we stop and have a face-to-face conversation with our child and say, tell me everything that is going on in your heart, because it will take time that we don't have, and it will probably hurt, because there will probably be truth spoken about things that you have said or done or somebody else. And sometimes I think we just try to avoid it, so that's why we it looks like she's okay on the outside, so therefore we're going to go next day, and that girl might be absolutely broken on the inside and crying for help, and just for somebody to listen and have a safe environment and space where she can totally be herself and speak about these things, where she knows I'm not alone. She's going through that as well, and she's going through that as well, etc. Okay.
And just to add to that, to the voices that you had at school, let's say that teacher said to her that day, you've got ugly legs or ugly lips, or bully said that. We as parents cannot control, obviously, everything that's going to happen out there and what everyone's going to say. But we can, when she's hearing those negative things, make sure at home she's hearing enough positive things to start to quiet the negative ones. But if it's just going to be negative and she never hears the positive, this side is again going to win. So, and subtly, just as a tip, that's what I also try to do, is just subtly comment on her body. For instance, after a netball match, or any sport, a thing you can say to her, did you see how amazing and strong your body was today? It was awesome to see that. Just by talking about, your body's strong, your body's amazing. And that will help to shift the focus to, yes, I appreciate this body, it's strong, it's getting me from A to B, it's doing amazing things. It's not just about how it looks in a bikini, it's actually it's doing an amazing job for me. So
wow, that's brilliant.
So body image, I mean, we can talk all night about body image. It's a big topic with the girls.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next one that I want to touch on is, don't confuse her, walk your talk. So what I mean by that is, we as parents can't say to our girls or teach our girls, for instance, not to compare themselves to other people. But then we as moms compare ourselves to other people. She hear you, and this is hard, but no one said parenting's easy, right? But we, or maybe, you're telling your daughter, don't gossip. But then she hears how you're gossiping when you're sitting with your friends. So we have to make sure that we walk our talk. We're not going to be perfect. We're going to slip up sometimes, absolutely. But just to be, again, mindful, and also with self-care. And this is where the girls are very different. I've seen all sorts of girls where some of them are very into the self-care and they love the girly stuff and girly girl, and then you get the tomboy girls, and there's nothing wrong with either of those two. I mean, that's, And I also teach the girls that it doesn't matter whether you're a tomboy or a girly girl. We all have to pay attention to our self-care at the end of the day, in an age-appropriate way, of course. So what we teach the girls at 8 is not the same that we'll teach a girl at 16, for instance, in terms of self-care. But with self-care, she's also looking at you, and maybe you're a mom that's not into self-care stuff at all. I mean, but you don't want to wear the makeup and you don't want to do, but self-care is more than putting on makeup or
Yes.
it's just about those things of, the clean hair and just walking with, there's those little things that you do for yourself as a mom where she's watching you, and we need to show the girls that is important, because at the end of the day it builds confidence. I know when I had my baby, my first baby, and my mom said to me, Anri, you're going to be so tired. You're not going to even want to get out of bed and wash your hair and put clothes on for a few weeks, but do it anyway. And she was right. And I remember not sleeping and thinking, hey, I think I have to wash my hair. It's been a few days. And then you just wash your hair and you put maybe just the one lipstick on. I mean, you're not going anywhere, but it does something for your confidence.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
And I want to add there as well. I'm going to add to everything that you said. I have so many clients who tell me that they come to me and say, I never had a mother who introduced me to makeup or how to dress or what works and what doesn't. And now I have girls and I have to teach them and I don't know what to tell them. So it's totally possible that you might be that mom who you just put on a ponytail, or maybe you live on a farm and you feel like it's unnecessary to put on makeup, but you have a little girl who watches you all the time and who yearns to actually learn these things from a mother. But if it's not you, I mean, I'm not going to expect you to do a course in makeup and it's absolutely against everything in your DNA. It's just not you. You can know that there is a safe place where your daughter can be taught this, and it doesn't have to be a forced thing. It must be natural, because I know of many girls or women who are tomboy or just don't do makeup and they have the most girly girls ever, and they're like, what? How am I going to bring these two things, these two poles?
And I think also for moms to remember that there is a difference between, when I say, self-care doesn't always mean the makeup and the hair and all of that. It means taking a bath every day. It's more personal hygiene, if I want to put, so even if you're the mom that's never wearing makeup and that's not your thing, you're still going to apply personal hygiene at the end of the day. So that is not negotiable. And that is, again, something that they're watching you, and you can't tell her to do it if you're not doing it. So we need to walk the talk, and don't confuse her and tell her one thing but you do something else. Then let's go to the next one. Oh, this one says, break through the uncomfortable.
Wow.
You are better than any puberty book you can buy. Maybe that's not what you want to hear, but that is absolutely the truth. So I learned this from girls that came to me and that said to me, or they came to me with questions, like big stuff, puberty questions. And I made a decision from the word go, when I started working with the girls, that I am not going to include that in my courses, where I talk to them all about all the sexual side, the menstruation, all of that stuff. I leave it out for the reason that I believe that is a conversation that should happen between the mom and the daughter. As uncomfortable as it is for most of us, it is so important, because puberty and trust goes hand in hand. A girl cannot go through puberty without having that go-to person that she can go to talk to. Just to have the one talk, that is not going to be enough. She's going to have a million questions after that. And if she cannot feel comfortable to go to you, she's either going to Google it, and you don't even want to know what's going to pop up when she types that sort of stuff in there.
Oh my gosh.
Or she's going to go to another person, and you don't know whether that person's got her best interest at heart. So it is so important as moms to, I want to say, put our big mom panties on and be brave and go say, I'm going to do this, because we need to break through the uncomfortableness. And you know what? That first time, it's going to be weird. It's not the thing you do every single day. But the second conversation is going to be a little bit easier. The third one's going to be even easier. And then it's going to become, then that trust is starting to form. And it's actually, in a way, it becomes fun to have these chats with your girl. But you have to be there. And yes, a book has its place. Absolutely. There's some things in a book when it comes to the biology and all of that a book can explain better than us. But it cannot replace you. You still need to go and talk to her. And it doesn't also have to be these big planned talks like, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow. And I find with my own daughter, the best talks are the spontaneous ones where in the moment something pops up and we talk about it. And it can be a 1 minute talk or a 2 minute talk. It doesn't always have to be like a half an hour session where we talk about things. And then also just quickly, the girl said to me, but my parents are weird when we talk about this. So please, let's try and keep it as normal as possible. Keep your sense of humor, laugh about things. And she bounces off your energy in that moment. I think often girls find it uncomfortable because we're uncomfortable. But if you are going to try and just be like, hey, I'm not going to let this be this big uncomfortable thing. I know it's hard, but when you go into it with that mindset, your body, remember in the beginning I said what you think, you're going to act. So if you're going to go in and say, hey, this is going to be okay, and we're going to keep it light, and you're just going to go with the flow, it's going to be okay, your body's going to respond. So she bounces off your energy. And then also, don't ever say to your daughter, when she asks you something about puberty or any uncomfortable questions, don't say to her, but no, you're too young. I'll talk to you about it later. She's asking you now. It means she's thinking about it right now. And if you are not going to give her the answer, I promise you she's going to try and get it somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So never ever think if she asks you something, she's too young. Okay, so remember that is something that a lot of girls say to me, but that my mom said I'm too young, so she hasn't spoken to me about anything.
Yeah.
And I really want to know. So so keep that in mind. Okay, you go ahead.
We have questions in the comments that ask when is a good time to start speaking to it, and I don't think there's a right or wrong. You have to follow I think the lead, but I think, I must be honest, I think going into primary school and they are going to start speaking to friends 7, 8 years old, there must be a little bit of an introduction. That's what I believe. People, they get younger with the knowledge these days. I mean, I didn't know about sex until I freaking got married. I didn't know how it worked. My mom never spoke to me about it. It was a taboo subject. And I remember from the word go, when we wanted to have children, Heinz said to me, we are going to create an environment where our children can speak to us about anything, even though we are freaking out on the inside about where did you hear that? And oh my word, I'm going to kill that other child and freaking phone that mother now. You just like, what, how? And then it's nothing, it's natural, because sex and the body and everything that happens is the most natural thing ever. It's the most natural thing, and we shouldn't make it ugly, and it's obviously in God's plan. In marriage, it's beautiful, and you should train that to your child from a young age, that it's awesome in marriage, in the safe environment where God planned it to be, not when you are young and just want to fool around. You'll get hurt because that's abuse. You're using it for something that it wasn't made for. So just answering the questions, not going over, I'm sorry, I'm going to do it quickly. I was literally once, I had a salon in my house at the top here, and my hairdresser was washing my hair, and my son was sitting at my feet, looking into the bathroom, and there was a bookcase just outside the door. And he said to me, Mom, what is a virgin? And I said, I've learned this. I said, why do you ask that? He says, because this is this book from Richard Branson, Virgin. I'm like, oh, it's his company's name. It's like Virgin Active, Virgin Airlines, Virgin. He says, but yes, what is a virgin? I mean, why would he? Because he's very inquisitive. So I said, okay, I'm thinking the first thing that comes, well, the most easiest way that I can explain is, you know what? It is something that is unharmed or undamaged, like Sienna. I had a girl there. She has virgin hair because she's never colored her hair. And he's like, okay. And he went on. Not like the girl who asked her mom, what is a virgin at the dinner table? And she explained absolutely everything. And she looked at her and said, then what is an extra virgin? Because she was looking at the olive oil. So we don't want to overshare. But also the truth is, where your children hear these things first is going to be their truth. That is how it works. So if they're going to hear it from your friend, yes, they're going to think that is the truth. By the time you get to tell them, they're like, what do you know? Like, no, Jannie het my gesê, dit is hoe dit werk, mama. So yes, that's what I wanted to say. I get so excited now.
and what I hear you say, and that is so true, is just we keep it age appropriate. There's I started talking to mine at a very young age, but in a very like age appropriate way, and you watch them and you see when it gets to a point where now it's just not making any sense, it's too much now, then we stop. Okay. And then and as they were growing older, they started to ask new questions, and they guided me as to what they're ready to hear. But I think I put myself in that fortunate position where they could ask me things because I started the conversations fairly early, where I showed to them, hey, I'm your mom and we can talk about anything.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then just listen. We were just talking about the poker face. Just listen, react less. I think as parents, we are trying our best, and we want to solve everything and we want to fix everything. If your daughter comes to you with an issue, we're already thinking while she's busy talking, in the back of our minds, how are we going to fix it? Okay, well, who am I going to call? What am I going to do? How are we going to fix this problem? And sometimes, and the girls often said that to me, they said, I just want my mom to listen to me. She's always, when I start to talk, or they will come to me with something, with a big thing that they're carrying with them, and I'll have a chat with them and say, we're going to have to go to your parents and talk to them about this. And they say, no, but my parents, they never listen to me. They don't listen. They're just going to want to fix it immediately. And I don't want them to react so quickly. Okay. So, even, some of the girls even said to me that, my mom, if I tell her about this problem, she's just going to send me to another therapist. And I don't want to go to another therapist. I actually want my mom to listen to me. I actually want to talk to my mom about this. So that was a big lesson for me, that sometimes me that want to fix, sometimes I just need to listen. And then it's tough, and you go to bed and it's all you can think about is this thing. But for that moment, she just wanted you to be there and listen to her. And then tomorrow, you can start talking to it again. But in that moment, don't always just react. Just to keep that in mind. Yeah. And then also to listen to the emotion behind what they're telling you. So, and I see that now with my boy that is now a teenager, and he can share. He's not watching me now, but he can. We're on different worlds now, so his world is just the things that he's interested in is not stuff that interests me. With the girls sometimes, but even the girls. I mean, sometimes I see with the teen girls, they get these boy bands and things that you just want to run away from, but they love it. But whatever it is, when they want to share about their world with you, even if it's so boring, or even if it irritates you, that thing that they like, listen to that emotion behind it, that excitement when they talk about that. And not just like, sometimes because it's so boring, we're just like, yes, okay. But if you try and listen to that excitement, how does this make her feel? I can hear how her voice is starting to get full of energy when she talks about it. And then hey, I need to pause a bit and listen what's going on here. So listen to that emotion. Okay, Aletta, can I move on?
Yeah. I had a story, but it's gone now.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. We don't want to, and I mean, I'm guilty. I'm so guilty of this, especially with my boys because they're older and they have conversations with me. But we don't want to, when they are so young, think it is what they have to say is not important, or like you said, you're busy and you're just gonna go on. That by the time they get to teenage years, where you actually want to have that conversation and get to their heart, it's too late. They're like, you've never listened to me. I'm not gonna be able to talk to you, so I'm just gonna chat to my buddy or not chat to anybody at all. You want to have those open channels from young age to like when they are grandparents themselves, always.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about tonight, I see we already almost an hour, is that no matter what, and what I mean by that is I love you no matter what. Unconditional love, show it, tell it, and never, ever stop. Don't ever take it for granted. Don't ever think, oh, but they know it. She knows it. She needs to hear it. And that's exactly what you just said there, Aletta, is that was my big eye-opener when I started working with the high school girls, before I wrote the course for the tweens, just hearing and sitting with those teen girls in a group where they're all sharing their hearts because they're in a space where they can actually be vulnerable and talk. And so many of those girls say to me, my mom wasn't there when I was a tween, and now suddenly she wants to be part of my life. Wow. But it's too little too late. So it's exactly what you just said. A teen, that sweet 8-year-old, is going to become a teen girl, and moms, you with teen girls know what I'm talking about. There's a big shift that happens there, and luckily they get rid of it again later, and I mean, we've all been there. But in those teen years, it's just that attitude of, it's too little too late, Mom. You weren't there before. Why do you want to talk to me now when you weren't there before? So for me, that was the big, I remember driving home thinking, I'm so fortunate that I'm sitting still with my young kids, and I can still, implement this. And I made a point to then really, really focus on trying my best. I mean, I'm not perfect at all when it comes to all of these things, but just becoming more aware of having those conversations, listening to them, and all those things. Set that foundation that is so, so important. If your daughter is already older, don't give up either. I mean, they at the end of the day, they're going to play a little bit hard. What's the word? Hard to get. If I can put it that way, but don't give up on her. Keep, keep trying and keep telling her, I love you no matter what. When you say goodnight to your daughter, maybe she's already sleeping now tonight, but tomorrow night, say goodnight and say to her, I love you no matter what, and make sure that she hears that all the time. She's going to slip up. She's going to do things that you're not going to be happy with, but she needs to know that's not going to change the love. A lot of the things that were shared with me came from where the girls slipped up, or they did something, and it's eating them up inside. It is chipping away that self-confidence. It is affecting their schoolwork. It is making their lives miserable. They're walking with the shadow, but they don't want to talk to their moms because what's going to happen? And they're scared they're not going to love them if they tell them. And yes, your daughters must know about discipline and consequences, but they also must know that, yes, there will be consequences, but the love's going to stay the same. So have that conversation with your daughter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Okay, now I'm listening.
What are the people saying in the chats?
They are agreeing.
Questions?
Not so much questions.
Okay.
Just agreeing.
I think those are the big things that I wanted to share tonight in the time that we have, and just to know that at the end of the day, that the girls absolutely adore and look up to to the parents, even if they don't show it. Okay, they will not make you feel like you are the most important person in their lives, but you are extremely important, especially those teen girls. They will not show it to you. It's just how teens are. They will tell you how embarrassing you are and you can't do this right and that right. But deep down inside, they're craving your love and they're craving their discipline. It makes them feel safe. So that's also important. That's another thing that they often shared, is that with parents that never disciplined, that said, you can stay out till whatever time. They actually said to me, but I don't think
feel unsafe.
Everybody is. So they also want the discipline, and it makes our job really hard because you have to always find that balance. But I hope that these have given you some food for thought. And just to remember that it's not just about putting food on the table, but it's also about what we're building inside. That is so, so important.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And I think what you shared tonight was imperative, especially when it comes to the emotional part of raising a girl. But there are also a bunch of practical, physical things that we as parents should teach our daughters especially, that is going to set them apart from their competitor or from their future job interview competition. There is stuff that we should learn at a young age, that things that must be instilled in our lives that parents definitely don't have time to do and don't know. I mean, I do this on a regular basis because I teach image consultants about etiquette and posture and body language and stuff, that if you know this at an friggin' young age, like an 8-year-old, getting to practice it. Andri, I mean, people, you don't know, this woman cannot slouch. She can literally not do, it's impossible. When you see her shoulder, she's like doing it. She's got a perfect posture. It gives you authority. It just makes you stand out in a crowd, literally and figuratively.
And can I just interrupt you there quickly, Aletta,
Yes.
just to say that I said in the beginning, it takes a village. And that's one example of, I did not learn posture at home. Okay, so posture was part of the village part. So that I learned from my aunt who did the course, and so there's different people that's gonna influence us. We need those trusted role models. That's gonna also be important pieces of the puzzle at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and I think that is where Girls' School comes in, where we as a team are now branching out across the country, where we take this material that Andri has given us and blessed and created, and you can see the passion that she has and had to do it, so we can get this to as many girls as possible, so that we can raise a generation of princesses and of queens and of women who stand head and shoulders above everyone else, because that is what happens. You get 12 to 15 girls in a course, in a class setup, in a group where they share, where they have fun together, where they bond, where they have a safe environment. So maybe you don't have a safe environment at home. We know everything is possible, and people come from different households, and I know we don't all have the fairy tale story, but here there is a safe environment where you can spend time with other girls who are the same age, who experience the same kind of body issues and changes in bodies in the same season of their lives, where you get the covering of a system that loves and who wants to teach your girl to be the best, absolutely best version of themselves from a young age. When we got the training from Andri, I'm sitting here as a 42-year-old. We had somebody here in her 60s who's a franchise co-owner, and she sat and she said, I can't believe what I'm hearing at 60, whatever. I should have known this at 8. And I'm like, I know. I teach some of these things, but I still feel if I was to know this at 8, I would have, imagine where we would have been. It would have set us apart and be the trajectory and put us freaking catapulted us. I'm using all my big words in one sentence into another stratosphere.
I want to add also to the power that I've seen in a group setting. So there's a lot of power. There's a lot we can teach them on their own, but when the girls are in a group together and they see that other girls are doing it, with posture, for instance, or anything, they will see the other girls do it, and then they will think, hey, maybe I should also try it. And it is just that group environment is also what is so powerful.
Absolutely. I see Jackie is asking about bullying. That is one of the themes that Andri has brought in the course, is about how to stand up for yourself, how to say no, how to protect yourself. You can say, Andri, what you do there, because it is unbelievable.
Okay. Let me quickly run, because I see there are questions asking about what is it about. So with the preteens, we focus, my heart of Girls' School is about teaching girls that what is real beauty, because in the modeling world, I saw that too much emphasis on the outside, and a girl that's on the cover of a magazine that's not beauty on the inside, in my opinion, is not beautiful. Real beauty is when it comes from the inside, and that is everything I wrote for the girls is based on that. So you can be rest assured that the girls that come to Girls' School are not girls that are going to walk out thinking I'm prettier or better or than the other girls. We are teaching them to acknowledge and see their own unique beauty that God gave them, that they are all unique, and then everything we base around that. So we help them to embrace their uniqueness. We teach them age-appropriate personal care. So even for the little ones, we don't even talk about makeup, okay? So don't think or be worried that your 8 or 9-year-old is going to learn makeup. No, that happens later on. It's all age appropriate. We teach them about their superpower. So that thing of getting a voice in your head that says maybe you can't catch the ball. What do I do with it now? Okay, I'm hearing it, but I want to change it to a positive. So we teach them how to do that, because we all grow up hearing those negative voices as well, and we need to know how to change it to a positive. A lot of emphasis on standing up for yourself, how to do that. We make it practical. We teach them about focusing on being healthy, not just how you look. So all of that. We talk about healthy friendships, and we even throw in some etiquette. So we do some fun table etiquette and social etiquette in there as well, because at the end of the day, we're teaching the girls to be a girls' school lady. And a girls' school lady is somebody that teaches herself and others with respect. It is somebody that stands out for the right reasons, not because she's gossiping or because she's, but because she's kind and because she's caring and because she's showing that inner beauty. When we go to the teens, we go a little bit deeper. So then we really start to build on those seeds that we've planted. So we spend more deeper time on the body image, on the self-love. We've got a very, very awesome, unique way to teach them about self-love, and a very powerful class there. And we teach them how to deal with problems in a positive way. So you've got all these problems which won't really go away, but then we're all going to have problems, but how do you deal with it? What do you do with it? Are you going to carry it with you on your shoulders, or are you going to learn how to let go of it in a positive way? So those things, we talk about relationships with boys and with friends and with parents. And then all the fun things, the makeup, the wardrobe, all those things that the teens also want to learn, that's also in there. So it is a beautiful, beautiful journey of self-discovery at the end of the day. And where the teen girls usually enroll for the outer beauty part to learn about the makeup and the hair and all of that, they say at the end that the inner beauty was actually the best part when they started to learn.
Absolutely. That is amazing. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be able to get this to as many girls as possible. Mothers, if you hear about this in your town, you cannot wait for the next course, because if your girl is in the first course, she's going to have 3 or 4 months advantage to the other girls of getting the posture ready and the princess like ladylike being. Just get in as soon as you hear. I know, I can see it. Mothers think, no, I'll do the next one. No, I'll do the next one. Oh, I'm busy this weekend. Or don't postpone it. You're always going to be busy. It's an investment in your child's life. You will never have the same girl again. I promise you. I want to always guarantee your money back. If she is not a changed person by the time she exits that course, I want to give you your money back, because it's impossible by the value she gets. I've seen the content, I've seen the practical, I've seen it all, and it is absolutely life-changing and incredible. We have in the chats, we have all the email addresses of where you can get access to franchises, and it's starting up now. We have our first course in the Helderberg area in April, Afrikaans and English for little girls 8 to 10, and then tweens. It's all happening. We're setting it up. So just watch the social media and make it a priority. It's a once-off payment. It's a once-off investment in your girl's life. It's not a school fee that's recurring for the next 12 years. It's once off that you get to do this, and she is going to be thanking you forever. I can absolutely promise you this. I'm going to read...
When I did when I shared earlier the story about my body image in the modeling world and how I was asked to lose all that weight, I know it made a big difference for me to be able to, just as one example, to be able to stand strong in what I believed was because I did a course like that. And because I did it and I planted those seeds. Yes, my parents also tried to teach me that, but I think being in that class environment and learning those things, it helped me. And I say to the girls also after the course, and you'll see it, that after the course, they're going to learn many things, but then as they grow older, they're going to use this, and then they're going to use this, and then this will be of value, and this will be, it's all going to come back and be of value to them as they go through life. I can absolutely guarantee you that.
Yes, it's not going to be in vain. You might think she's too young, she's never going to remember it. Oh my word, it's like the Bible said, the seed will fall on good ground. They are so receptive in that stage. They just like a sponge, taking it in, and storing it.
And also, when I wrote the girls' school course, and it's something that I've been teaching Aletta and our whole team going forward as well, is that girls' school is not just a course, it is an experience, because the girls will also remember the experience. And we try, all the ladies where you are going to find those girls' school franchises are trained, and they know that from the moment your daughter walks in there, they're going to create a beautiful experience for her, where she's valued, where she's not judged, because they get enough of that at school. At girls' school, she can walk in and just be herself. That is the most important thing when she walks in there, so that she can be open and really, really learn and just have a beautiful experience.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I would just want to see there are hands raised. Is there a girls' school in Mpumalanga yet? Nelspruit? No, not yet. And people, we have a list of applicants trying to get into the franchise. I know it's difficult. It's a very thorough and diligent and time-consuming process, because we have to sift the people. We can't just take anybody. It really has to be somebody who fits the bill, who we can trust, who's godly, who's going to have the same values as we do. So we're not just going to take anyone who wants a franchise. So we are still working through the process. In some areas, there's a waiting list of 3 or 4 people that if the one falls through, there's another one ready. But if you want to get a franchise, it's in your area, or it's not yet in your area, you can email us at the Confidence Co. We can have one of the girls just put it in, franchise@theconfidenceco.co.za. I see somebody asked, is it going to be less effective if it's online? Andri has an incredible online course that is still running. It is different. I think it's different effective. It's effective in the way that you get to do it you can do it with your mother. You can do it in your own time. If you are not close to any franchise area, absolutely do it. Don't miss out on it. Wherever you are in the world, do it. But if you are aware that there is a franchise in your city or town, rather do it in person, because that you have that community of the girls and the bonding, and it's different when it's live. But once again, don't let that keep you from doing the course, because the online course is also absolutely brilliant. But yes, let's do it. Just get out, just get your girls in and start speaking about this. Share it with your friends. This is not a kind of secret that we want to keep to ourselves either. Tell your other mommy friends of girls and say, listen, did you hear about this? Because we need the word to spread like a wildfire when it comes to this. Thanks, Mel. Okay, awesome.
Boodskapie van from our old girls' school girls, the moms sending messages. It's so lovely to see you, the moms. And please, if you are a girls' school girl mom, please send big hugs and kisses to your daughters from Teacher Anri.
Oh, this is so special. Ladies, I'm going to have 2 more minutes just to see if there are any more questions in the chat. Let me just say Q&A. Me too. I spoke to my daughter about periods at 8. This is not really questions. This is like an open answer. Thank you to the whole team who's been answering questions.
There's a question about the age that I just quickly want to say. She's asking if 8 is too young. I recommend that the girls come at the age of 8. And the reason why is, even though the content is actually valuable when you're 6 already, it's just, I think they will absorb more when they're 8 years old. They will be able to sit still for those few minutes, whether they're going to do the 2-day course or the 15-week course. They will be able to absorb it just so much better when they're 8 years old. I've had girls that are a little bit younger, and I see for them it's a bit much. So I think 7. I've had 7-year-olds as well, which are successful. So 7, end of 7, 8.
Yes. We have many questions about, we say 8, but then they say, my friend is 7 turning 8, is she now not allowed? So it's easier almost to say grade 2 to 4 rather than the age.
And
unless now you're
Sorry, and what Aletta is also doing, which I think is brilliant with the franchises, is she is trying to put the little ones, like the grade 2s to 4s, I think, together, and then the 5, 6, and 7s together. So I think that's a brilliant idea.
Awesome, thank you. Akamakimsi would love to take hands with the Centurion Pretoria. Okay, Yolanda, please email us. Centurion and Midstream is a hotspot area. There are about 10 people interested, we just have to tie the knots and loose ends, but we have to get this started. And then we also have different options when it comes to the courses. Like you just heard us say, there are 2-day courses where we have the girls over a Saturday and a Sunday, or maybe 2 days in the holiday, or maybe 2 weeks apart, where it's a Saturday and a Saturday. It depends on the franchise owner what they want to do, but it's almost a crash course, and it's a lot of information, and it's intense, but it's amazing, especially if you don't have time to do it over a 15-week period, because we kind of start late in the year. Not that it's late, but it's almost April, so it is kind of late. I'm not sure which franchises will start with 15-week courses. We have a 20-week course for teenagers, which in the most franchises will probably only start in January next year. But in Helderberg, it's actually starting in May. We can still fit it in this year. And because Helderberg is like the flagship franchise that's kind of ahead, because it was the first one up and running. So if you have a teenager in the Helderberg area, go visit our social media. It's going to be, all the information is going to be there. We want to get this rolling so that teenagers can change and lives can be changed, and they can speak to their friends, and they can get more people involved. Imagine if a whole generation of girls, imagine of every sphere in South Africa where underprivileged girls get to know this. If we can sponsor a girl to come to girls' school and be educated with self-love and how to stand up for yourself and body image and how to be a lady, we will just live in a different world, if you ask
me. And one of the important things that we teach the girls for girls is about this, the sparkle. You know, you have to go and sparkle. So when you give a compliment to somebody, you are shining that sparkle, and you never know what that sparkle is going to do, and maybe light up a whole room at the end of the day. So if we can raise girls that go out there and they want to shine these sparkles, they're going to make such a big difference. Can you imagine how beautiful the world can become if we can start to shine those beautiful sparkles and tell the girls that it's actually kind girls are cool, and that is actually that's the team you want to be on the inner beauty team.
Absolutely. And Andre, I mean, I think you touched on it briefly, but you tell a story during your training about when you were a model overseas and you got to live with these girls, and you were like, everybody is faffing about how beautiful they are, but you see the inside. Can you just briefly share that?
Yes, just living with models from all over the world, young girls in one house together, and then, like I said, they will be on the cover of magazines and billboards and all of that. But then when you live with them, you get to see their personality. And I'm generalizing. I'm not saying all the girls were like that, but many of them were then gossiping and lying or talking ugly about themselves, or, you know, and I just, looking at that, it confused me, because for me, how can everybody else look at her and say she's the most beautiful girl in the world, and they all want to look at her, but behind closed doors, that's not what's coming out of her mouth. And that is when I think the seed was planted in my heart, that I wanted that to be the heart of the Girls' School course, so that girls know that, yes, we pay attention to the outer beauty, and we teach, you'll see the girls will learn of the heart of Girls' School, and that there are two sides, the outside, the inside. And we teach them why the outside is important when it comes to, we said earlier, the self-care, the confidence, all of that. And then, so we teach them why it's important, but also the inner beauty, that the outside can't be on its own. It needs that inside to complete that heart. Absolutely. So, yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, Anri, thank you so much for your time. You are a busy lady, and you are a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And I'm excited to see what your future holds. Thank you for handing us your baby. It's a precious baby, and we will not drop her, because it has to be a her. We will not drop her, and we want to see her grow and crawl and walk and run and reach as many people as possible, because if we raise healthy wives and mothers, they're going to infiltrate the next generation, and they might have an incredible influence on the fathers and the husbands. So we are in the right business. I'm excited to do this. And thank you for everyone who joined us tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your time. Yes.
Thank
Hope you had a great time. Thank you, Liefie, met 'n lekker slaapie so.
Ja, lekker
Listen, I actually, wait. I want to take a screenshot.
Of our nails.
Wait. I can't do it with my one hand. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do it like this. But wait. No, wait. I have to push the buttons. Okay, there we go. But actually, I wanted to say to the people who's interested in image consulting, because I'm looking at us, and Andri is so totally cool. Can you see how cool she is with her white blonde hair and her blue eyes and her blue? And I've got and the pink nails is very cool as well. But you can see in our coloring, I can look at you the whole time thinking, oh, you're so cool, and I'm so warm, and it's so amazing to learn these things and know that I don't have to compare myself to Andri. I don't have to, I also want that blue dress because look how beautiful she looks in that blue dress. We're different, and different things are going to suit us, and that's also what we teach the girls. Ek moet nou stop, anders gaan ek julle. Anyway.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear all your girls' school stories, parents. Come and share it on social media. I believe that. Just the last thing I want to say is I honestly, I've got no doubt that this seed was planted by God many years ago in the heart of my aunt, Corinne Baumgart, who founded the team course Jaffa. Maybe some of you have heard of the course Jaffa if you're in the Joburg area. And he planted that seed in her heart, and he is still very much in control in taking this thing bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm so grateful for Aletta, who said yes to take this further. And I'm very excited to see how the lives will be changed through this.
Yay. Thank you so much. Okay, we have to say goodbye now. Bye! Tot so baie. Is dit so baie? Baie so.
Lekker slaap, almal.